That's an immediate loss.
Let's just make it as long and boring as possible so everyone's just like, what the hell is this? Let's just skip it. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
I could just give you guys a rundown of my D&D campaigns.
Nah.
Okay, you're fired.
That's a 6-hour conversation.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, that's a 6-hour monologue.
Yeah.
No.
There are already podcasts like that, Tim.
I know I'm on one. Well, not a podcast, a stream. Yeah.
We're not I mean, it can be talked about, but it's, varied.
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 Gotcha.
But, I think that's
just
good.
a nerdcast. We're a nerdcast, but not
just
a nerdcast.
Just a nerdcast.
Can I still swear? Are we doing that?
Swearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a problem.
I don't see. Yeah, this
I
isn't like for children.
Just don't as long as you're not like constantly saying slurs, you're fine.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think.
Hey, don't get mad at me. I used the A.
I think the wide population.
I used that soft A. I didn't go the hard ER. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if that counts as a slur as much as a hate crime.
Look, I'm just wondering if I need to censor myself from saying fuck or not. That's all my question is. Okay, cool.
Fuck no.
Awesome.
This week on Freeform, we practice Christian swearing. Shut the front door.
Good
No,
night.
that's not Christian swearing. That's just lame, non-swearing at all. Like
it's fair, yeah, but it's
like just kill yourself.
I just like Bob Saget.
I heard it's a little harsh. I heard Jerry Seinfeld one time. He was making a joke, and he was like, someone saying like, well, the person was literally like making up words like, well, flippy floppy or something like that, and he goes, at that point, he's just like, what are you doing? He's just like, you're not even speaking words. Just like, don't talk at all. Like, he's just like, why?
And that's the thing. If that's what it's kind of annoying about the whole swearing thing is if you're going to say something expletively,
right.
It's just the same. It just has the same meaning.
Right.
Right. You're just putting other words in for the same meaning.
Yeah.
Right.
And linguistically speaking, you are still using the intention behind those words.
Especially people who just say frick.
Right.
So,
right. If you say frick all the time, frick, it's just the same thing as
frick my life.
Yeah.
Cool, but like, you can say it in front of kids and kids won't like look at you weird.
Sure.
Or like, you won't get judged by other people, but it's the same thing, right? If you really wanted to stop.
It is the same thing.
If you wanted to stop swearing, just stop using expletives.
See,
right?
I just wish we could like go back to the day and age when you could be creative with your swearing.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Swearing.
Right. What was that long one from the Shakespeare? Like, it's not called Shakespeare Against Humanity, but it's
Bards Against
Humanity.
No, bards dispense profanity.
Oh, thank
that's
you.
it. Yeah, that's it. So in that one, there was one, and it was like 5 words, but it basically described like a prostitute.
Yeah.
But it was so poetic, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was so good.
Well, and it's like, I want to bring back mealy mouth.
What's mealy mouth? Like a mealworm?
No.
Mealy?
So, mealy mouth. What? Meal is gruel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
So, if you're mealy mouth, it's
just a bleh.
Yeah.
It's like a throw up.
Everything you say is just
trash.
It's mealy. It's gross.
It's a bunch of garbo.
Yeah. Or like
you were like put out to say that. You're like garbo.
Also, I like how if I want to see Gabby as she talks, I have to like look under the table.
No, this is my den. Leave me alone.
She's trying to hide. She's trying to hide.
She's definitely hiding.
She's tucked away.
Yes.
Away from
she has
the world.
created a den.
That's true. Actually, this is about. I was thinking this is about the most comfortable that Gabby would ever be in, speaking to millions of people potentially.
Not seeing anybody laying down pillow.
But not even seeing like us really. Like
no, I don't have to look at any of you. I can look at the kitchen.
For anyone who is listening to this, whether it be far in the future or recently, but she is tucked in a corner in such a way that the 3 of us guys are on couches, right? and they run. One of them runs perpendicular to the other.
L.
Yeah, like a big L. Yeah, thank you. And so Zach and I are on the same couch. Tim's on his own, and then Gabby's in this corner, shoved in between because my house is not very big, but she shoved.
By
in
not very big, you mean Hobbit size.
It's nicer than that. I have like
it's an
9 foot
improvement.
ceilings.
It's an improvement on a studio apartment.
True. Yes.
Hey, for what he
It's
pays,
an upgrade.
it's pretty
For what you pay, it's pretty good,
For what I pay, it's okay. It's barely palatable, yeah. Yeah, we won't go into that either, but but anyway, like I was saying, Gabby is sitting between my TV stand, resting against the couch, the sofa, and between the table, which holds all of our mics and all of our equipment.
And with the LEDs you put up in the TV stand, it's like she has her own little lit up cave.
She has her little glowing,
my den,
angelic den. Yeah,
and it's currently green, which reminds me of like glowing lichen.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So you're saying it's very cave-like.
Cave-like.
Well, maybe I need to change the color to something less cave-like. Oh, you
I
like it?
This one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I change the high color?
That's fine.
Oh, okay. That one's kind of nice.
There you go.
It's like a magenta. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I found a little alcove in my down here.
I found a little alcove. Just to show you real quick with the red though, but like that is like blood.
I
Right?
don't
Yeah,
like
like
it.
that. See, that looks really good.
Put it back.
Put it back.
No, it works great when we were watching.
We were watching. What was it? It's Total Recall.
Total Recall, yeah.
Oh, that would be.
I made
good.
every.
Would be
Oh
the
yeah,
right
you
color.
weren't here
I wasn't
when we did
here.
that.
But it was just
So
red.
it was-
The entire room was just red.
It was
Red.
me. It was
Works perfect for that movie.
Yeah.
exactly. So everyone asked me, they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, you'll see."
Oh,
And
yeah.
Gabby, I think Gabby was the only other
Yeah.
person who'd seen it, and so I put it
knew.
on. Yeah, and when I put it on, I think
I was
Gabby,
like,
I think Gabby was
oh.
like, "Oh yeah," and everyone else was like, "It's so."
Yeah.
Because if you turn off all the lights, obviously in here, and then I just turn everything to red,
Right.
first before your eyes adjust, you're like, "This is creepy," right? It's a very Halloween vibe, but it is the perfect setting for Total Recall.
Oh, cool. Shit's haunted.
Yeah, well, it is kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
but
true.
I know. I could see it. That
that's
makes
a very
sense.
creepy, in like a not trying to be creepy way. That movie is creepy.
Yeah.
It's like the way Jim Henson shit is creepy. Like, you know what I mean? Which it is.
It
But
is.
it's like that wasn't our intent. We weren't trying to do that. But some of that shit is creepy. It's weird, and you're like,
Well, Total Recall has the problem that you have in any movie where you're attempting to do at least close to realistic mutations.
right, yeah,
It's just they're trying to maintain the realness of it, but it's outside the realm of realism.
the
So
uncanny valley.
Yeah. Our
Exactly.
brain is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, and we're like, it's almost real, but it's definitely not.
But it's definitely
and I can
not.
tell that it's not. Yeah. I was gonna say
And
that's where VR needs to get too.
Oh well, yeah, eventually.
Yeah, but I would say VR. I mean, even just regular screens haven't gotten to that yet either. You know.
Oh, I know, and that like, what is that? Like 4100 something recording. I'm like stumbling over it, but
You're talking about 4K.
well, there's a even higher than 4K now. I think.
Oh, Zach will probably know more about that than I will.
Is
I
it?
mean, there's 8K.
Yeah, frame
but it's
rate.
like, oh, what are you talking about?
I'm
think
talking
he's
about
talking
the
about
frame
frame
rate that
rates.
our eyes can't even pick up.
Okay,
That's
you're-
better.
Well, because 4K is resolution,
Right.
right? That's different.
I'm talking about
but
a resolution.
yeah, I think he's
that-
talking not
Are you talking
refresh rate.
or
Yeah, it might be refresh rate.
so
Where-
yeah. I mean, a refresh rate you can get up to like 240 hertz.
right.
refresh
But even,
rate,
even our
You can still you can still kind of see the difference. It's all depends on like how far away you are from the object as far as screen resolution,
oh, okay.
right? Because a 4K TV just means if you get a lot closer to the screen, you can see the pixels less, right? It's more pixel density,
Right.
An 8K TV is just more and more pixel density. It's to the point where it's irrelevant. Like, you don't need it to be
That's what I mean. It's to the point where it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. The difference between something that's 4K and 8K is like negligible. Like, you're not gonna really tell the difference unless you're like face into your TV. Right.
Dude, that was something. Okay, so I grew up with a TV that was one of those old, like 70s style box TVs.
Yeah, CRT.
That literally would rotate on its axis, and it was super freaking heavy, right?
Yeah. See, mine was a fixed station one. It was you could not move that.
Oh, well, no, I mean, we couldn't move it it was so heavy.
No, I mean,
but you could turn it, which was cool.
No turning. It was a box.
Yeah.
With the speakers in the box.
Yeah, the speakers were in the. Yeah, they were in the thing.
And it was just like it was stationary. It just stood there, and you couldn't do squat.
So we had that kind of one, dude. It was an RCA, and I remember. I would sometimes look at the TV. It's just, this is terrible for your eyes, but I would go close to the TV like this, and I'd go like that, and you could literally see the red and the blue and the green, and the red and the blue and the green, because that close you could see the actual. Well, they'd be essentially pixels.
Yeah, they were pixels, yeah.
And but they were that big and noticeable, and I'd be like, "What?" And I remember thinking, "This is so weird," because that was before anyone explained to me, what it was. Or
so that old TV, it was one of the, I don't remember what brand it was, but it was one of the first ones that brand came out with that had like the new version of color TV, where it was like the more updated tubes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And we got a original Nintendo system for Christmas. And we plugged it into that TV. And when you turn it on to start Super Mario Brothers or Duck Hunt, whichever one you're going to play.
The only two games.
Well, the only two games that came with it.
The only two games that mattered.
True. Zelda was pretty cool.
That's true.
But when you turn it on, the power kicks on and the screen goes black, but you see the three colors like zigzag down as it's coming on.
Oh yeah.
You can see the pixels turning over, and it's like, oh, that's what that was.
At
the time, I had no idea.
That's the refresh rate.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. How many times do the pixels refresh in a second or whatever?
As a kid, I had no clue.
Right.
You actually probably thought it was a cool effect.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
Now I'm like, oh, geez, that's what that was.
You're like, no, that was actually just shitty quality. But it was good at the time.
I mean, it was amazing at the time.
Yeah, so, yeah. No, that's interesting.
We had the gun, too.
Oh, of course.
Nice.
The Nintendo gun.
Yeah.
Which would never have made it to marketing these days.
Really?
I don't think so, no.
Why?
Probably not.
Because it looks like a gun.
The guns nowadays look like guns. Some of them.
For Nintendo?
Not Nintendo.
I mean, you can get them for you're probably talking the ones in the arcades and stuff.
Oh yeah, arcades and stuff. But I mean, this is like.
You can
the home ones
you can still get
system.
you can still you could get like a Wii gun.
You can still get guns,
right? But
it
looks goofy.
What was that video? Donkey just did a video about guns. About guns in video games. So that's what I'm referencing.
Gun attachments.
There's a lot of different. They're gun controllers, is what they are.
Well, but those are. I mean, that's the same thing as like Joey sticks. There's a ton of different kinds.
Sure.
I'm talking about comes with the console, official part of the console, and it looks.
A lot of those are official. They're licensed by whatever the organization is that like Xbox or PlayStation.
Okay.
They won't necessarily come in the box when you buy it, but like you can buy it and it has the PlayStation.
But that's what I mean.
This
came with the console, like as a part of the.
Well, because it gave you a game that you had to shoot.
Right.
It just makes sense. I don't know. It's just functional.
I don't know. My point is, it just looked too real to be a.
I remember those guns. I mean, they looked real in the sense that they had a handle and a
barrel and a
barrel, but like they were all orange and white. Like they didn't. No one would have mistaken that for a real gun. Also, pick it up. It's like 2 ounces.
2 ounces.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just thinking of today's culture and like if a console came out with and we include a gun controller.
I think there'd be some people who had an issue with that, but
I don't know.
The majority of people, I think, would be like, well, then don't buy it. I don't know.
Well, I think that you can get away with selling it outside of the console, but as included as a part of the console, I think that would get some detractors.
Yeah. Also, like these days, hardware manufacturer companies like your Xbox, Nintendo would never include it because they could make an extra $60 if they had it separately.
That's the real reason.
That's the real reason.
They're like,
it's like
why include it?
It's like the PSVR or the Kinect for the Xbox. Like
Right.
when the Xbox One came out, or for the second Kinect, right? They were like, no, we're not including this anymore.
Right.
You have to pay an extra $150 for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
Which is fair, because I never wanted it. So.
Same with like the PSVR or the PS, like, the PlayStation, like, I don't know, motion controls, all that stuff.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That was all like extra...
Yeah, because
it's so funny too. You think about like, I remember when the Nintendo Power Glove came out.
Oh yeah,
dude.
And it was just the controller stuck on a glove.
Yeah, but that's sick.
Which is incredible.
I know, but it was still like nowadays you have like VR gloves that are like augmented where you can actually like control fine motor skills and stuff.
Right.
And at that time it was like you can put your hand in a glove and hold your hand up to your other hand and you can play on the controller on your wrist.
Dude, like that was the real Infinity Gauntlet. Like you hold that up, you snap your fingers and you're like, I just destroyed everything.
Take that,
I
Mario.
rule the universe,
Bowser who snapped.
Call me Thanos. They're like, back then, who's Thanos? Actually, wait, no, in the 80s, that's when that arc was like written, actually, so actually Thanos would have been very prevalent.
Was it? I thought Thanos was 90s.
No.
I could be wrong.
No, that original, like the Infinity...
Right, the original Infinity
I think it was called
Gauntlet.
the Infinity Gauntlet. I think that was the original one. I believe it was 86? I'm going to go with 86.
86.
I could be wrong.
Wow, earlier than that.
Oh, earlier?
Yeah, in 73.
No way. 73?
Mm-hmm. The Invincible Iron Man, number 55.
No. But the actual, like, Infinity Gauntlet, that whole arc, where he gets it, and he's actually, like, and they're trying to get it away from him, and they bring in Adam Warlock. That was from the 70s?
The Infinity War was... Oh, no, I was right. 92.
That was Infinity War.
That's what the first Infinity Gauntlet and all that.
Oh.
6-issue comic book, limited series published in 1992.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 80s. I was wrong. Never mind. But Thanos was a character before that.
Oh, yeah, he's 70s, man.
Yeah.
He was around for a while.
He's been around. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's how you could be the real Thanos.
Dallas, just a heads up. Every time you like move your foot on the table, I hear it.
Oh, whoops, my bad. Can't touch the table. Learning all these things.
You table toe toucher.
That makes it sound like I'm touching the toes of the table.
Yeah, I don't care. Sounded good in my head. Sounded good when I said it too.
That's what she said?
Yes. Possibly.
All right. Sounded good in my head. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so those shock deals will be good. What are they called? Shock absorbers?
Shock mounts.
Shock mounts. That's a cool name for a thing that
is a bunch of rubber bands.
Kind of.
Well, kind of.
Shock mount sounds like a Smash Mouth rock cover band.
Does.
Hey now,
it
you're a
does.
shock mount. Get your bounce
Shock
not
on.
on. Stay stationary.
Actually, no, I
Shaka
wanted heavy
Khan?
metal. I lied. I changed my mind. I wanted heavy metal covers.
A heavy metal cover of what is barely a rock song?
Correct.
Shock mount only covers AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
Okay.
And that would be totally fair.
I can deal with that.
I would love to hear.
Yeah.
I love Thunderstruck. It might be my favorite song of theirs.
Speaking of Thunderstruck,
Yeah.
long story short, my D&D party got stuck in a storm and got hit by lightning.
Nice.
And when you're in Roll20, you can play music through it. And the DM, as the thunder started rolling in, as he's describing it, what song started playing through Roll20, but Thunderstruck.
Oh, I was gonna say that's good.
And it was just like a moment of like, well, damn.
Or Garth Brooks's "The Thunder Rolls." That'd be a great one for that too.
I don't know about that one.
Dude, that's a great song, and it's all about like
for threat.
It's a threat. Listen to the lyrics. It's not. It's a threatening song.
I think he's more talking about like the musical vibe.
Yeah.
The Thunderstruck is definitely more like.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Shoot on your toes.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
we're in
true.
trouble now.
That's
Right.
true.
ACDC's
Thunder Rolls
coming.
is more like.
Thunder Rolls is like you're riding down
like
in your
sad.
car and
Right.
you're just vibing.
It's
a
like,
little bit.
oh no, Thunder Rolls.
Yeah,
That's a great song.
No,
That's a good song.
no argument. Just
Yeah.
saying it's not. I don't feel threatened by Garth Brooks.
If I was in Texas, I might.
If I was in Texas, there'd be a lot more things on my list that were threatening before I got to Garth Brooks.
Russ.
True.
I mean, most of
Fortunately, that's when he'd have his full power.
full.
He'd be like,
as
I've
the-
unlocked my full
he's
power.
like, I've returned to my motherland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
No, I'm just thinking of every militia in Texas. I feel
Are there
more-
militias?
Oh yeah, private militias everywhere.
I guess that's true. Would they call themselves militia?
No, probably not.
Maybe vigilante?
I doubt they'd call themselves that either. I mean, like the Proud Boys don't call themselves.
Who's the Proud Boys? This is a thing.
I'm not gonna go into politics, but yeah, they're like a
Oh, it's a political group?
they're a white pride group.
Okay, let's not talk about it.
Yeah,
If it's political, I'm not even interested. I just don't even care.
They love guns.
they love guns.
And
Oh,
killing
great.
Things.
So they're just making bad names for anyone who
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Honestly.
likes to have self-defense.
True.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
But
that's,
they're proud to be white, basically.
yeah.
yeah. Not proud to be an
Specifically white
American,
men.
which is also a great song.
Oh, they're proud to be American too.
Proud to
They're
be
proud
American.
to be white.
Isn't that the? Oh no, Born in the USA. That's the one that Hulk Hogan
That's
came
the-
out to.
That's the Bruce Springsteen one. No. He came out to. Well, he may have also come out to that one, but he came out to another one. I Am a Real American.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but that song was actually very uniting.
Well,
Everything
yeah.
it talks about, and there's like,
Well, because he
fight for the rights
he was a
of
hero
every man.
at
Yeah,
the time. He wasn't a heel yet.
yeah, he was a hero.
Yeah.
Hey, Hulk Hogan will always be a hero to me,
I mean, that's fair.
dude. I
We can
remember
forget about the NWA.
he
Or
always
NWO.
NWA. Wow.
Whoops.
Tim just made this very political. Incidentally. Yeah, jeez.
It's not my fault they went NWO instead of NWA.
I think they kind of stole the steam from the NWA. They're like, oh, this is popular.
Yeah,
just change the
they,
vowel.
They did, and then everybody dressed in black and wore chains. It's kind of a
Dope. Dope.
Yeah, like suddenly gold chains became a thing.
They embraced it, man. Yeah, but yeah, the NWO. But good old Hulk, man. He's awesome. I wonder what he's doing now.
Probably not much.
Is he just looking really old?
Probably.
That just makes me sad.
I mean, you take that much that much in steroids.
No, dude. He just had snap into a Slim Jim, dude.
No. Okay.
He always made me
That
want
was Macho Man.
he did him too.
Okay. I just remember Macho
Randy
Man.
Savage was definitely like, I think he was like the head Slim Jim guy. But
Never do a Slim Jam.
I think they kind of did it all together too. It's just like a wrestling federation. It was like,
Oh, it was definitely.
eat
It was a sponsored thing.
jerky, and this horrible stick jerky, which I don't even know if it qualifies as jerky.
With like an elastic.
but like
skin.
somehow, yeah, I never understand it. Whenever I'd bite it, it's like it has this weird consistency. It's just like,
Yeah.
I think it's cardboard wrapped in like fused together and like with a peppery finish.
Yeah, we're trashing
Not
Slim
used to it.
Jims. Fight us.
I will say though,
Grody.
they have probably the best social media out
Oh.
there.
Really?
Easily.
Have you ever looked at the Slim Jim Instagram page?
Yeah,
No.
they're great.
It's the best thing ever. Every
How,
single
why
post.
have you actually?
It came up on my recommended like randomly.
I recommend.
Dude, no, I'm telling you, every
It's
single
because you're
post-
into martial arts.
every
that's
single
why.
page,
Yeah.
Every single image they post
Yeah.
has a 6 to 9 or 420 joke and 420 joke in it.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Okay.
But see, Zach,
That's
just
a
goes
little
to
grating.
it goes to show you that companies who really aren't that great at their main thing are sometimes really good at their social media.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy's Twitter.
Well, I mean,
Wendy's isn't great
Kinda.
food, but their Twitter account is fire.
It just means that they hired a good social media manager. That's
Right.
all it means.
Right.
Like one person
Right.
is like having fun and they allow them to have fun.
Yeah, but when your social media is better than your main product, I feel like
Well, yeah.
I feel like
that's most brands who have a good social media.
Dude.
yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the song.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Slim Jim.
So good. Dude, this song is so good. This will get you hyped, dude.
I mean, yeah, it did in the 80s.
Still should today.
I was still looking at the most recent page because apparently Slim Jim won for the best brand in 2021, beating out Doritos, Pepsi, Amazon, Wendy's, M&M's, whatever.
Wow.
Their post is there's a quote saying "I love you all," and the quote is from Slender James, CEO of Meat.
CEO of Meat.
Yep.
I don't
Wow.
understand how you can win 2001
No, 2021.
or 20
This year.
Oh, 2021. How
Yes.
did they win this year? This year's
Well, because I think they
not
did it at
even
the
close to
beginning.
over yet.
Yeah, but I think they just did it at the beginning of the year. I don't know.
Oh,
It just depends.
It's
on
like the
what they do.
Oscars,
Yeah, it's like you got an Oscar in what year? 2020, like of 2021. The year
right?
just
But your
started.
movie came out in 2020. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, the title is "Community Over Cookies: How Slim Jim's Long Boy Gang Claimed Victory in March Madness 2021."
Oh, it was for March Madness. That
That
makes sense.
must have been it. Yeah.
It's got in my head, man. I gotta play it, dude. Thunder rolls, baby. And apparently Garth Brooks is not on Spotify. That's interesting.
I wonder if he pulled his stuff.
Was it ever on there?
I don't know.
Probably wasn't.
I mean, he could have pulled a Taylor Swift and
No, but didn't she put her stuff on there? Or did she
no,
take
she
it
took
off?
it off and then she put it back on.
What an idiot.
Well,
She annoys me sometimes.
it's not a terrible ploy.
No, I mean, I get it,
It
but
gets
she just...
it gets notoriety. Not that I
Right.
like any of her songs. I'm just saying it's not bad. Any
Any
there's no such
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Oh, Garth Brooks is on Amazon.
Oh, that's why he's
Music.
not on Spotify.
Oh, wait. I have access to that because I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I always forget. Because I just use Spotify. Like, why
Mhm.
would I?
That you literally just that's the memo in Spotify right now is like
I have.
let's make sure they don't remember that they have anything other than Spotify.
Well, until they specifically look for one thing and they're like, oh, and I already paid for it, so might as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's a good business play if you can get people to forget about the fact that there are places outside of your business.
Yeah, actually, to where it's just if you don't have it, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, no, that's what every business wants. Yeah, that would be dude. I would definitely go to a store that promised if we don't have it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Although no store could ever claim that. Like even Amazon can't claim that.
Amazon is the closest. To
It's the
claiming
closest, yeah, being the online retailer, but yeah, even they can't claim that. You know what's funny? This guy's not even Garth Brooks. There's some sound alike.
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, his name is Brooks Jefferson.
Huh.
He's pretty good sound alike.
So it's just a cover.
Yeah, because I found it on Spotify. But
Oh,
I can't.
as a cover.
Yeah, but I can't find the original Garth Brooks. But
Got you.
I was listening to hear how different it was, and I was like, oh, he actually sounds pretty similar.
Yeah.
He must be like a real impersonator or something. Like,
Or just a guy who sings country covers.
they don't all sound alike. Garth doesn't
I mean-
sound like other people.
I mean, but he could be like that guy who used to be 10-second songs. I
You know?
mean, in this day and age, imitation is the name of the game.
Kind of. Because people only want what they've already heard, I guess.
Yep.
See, that's what people like. They like
Other references to other podcasts?
A reference to another reference to another reference to another reference. Because that's
imitation, yeah. It's seven,
you're a special. If you understand that, you're a special.
It's 7
person.
degrees from Kevin Bacon gone wild.
By the way, it's 6 degrees. Just FYI.
I'll go 6. Well, I don't care.
That's what it's called. I'm just clarifying.
Thank you. I don't care. I'm just saying. It's
then why would you thank me? Clearly, you care. What are you gonna do? Go back and not thank
everyone,
me?
This is what happens when Dallas catches me on something, anything really. Anyway, my point is that has gone crazy to the point of just so many references to so many different references that it's a pain to even try to think about.
That becomes self-referential.
I mean, yeah, it's like when I first started like creating memes,
yeah,
and then I'd show them to, well, I mean, my audience wasn't high schoolers, but when you show them to younger people, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I don't get it," but here's the meme I found. And it's a meme that references a podcast or references another meme or references something else. And they're like, "That's funny," and I'm like, "Oh, did you make that?" They go, "No, I just found it," but it's their meme, and I'm like, "I don't understand this culture anymore. I'll walk away."
No one does. That's kind of the point of memes, is to have like an inside joke that no one else gets, and only like you and me. Sometimes there's only 2 people get it. But that's kind of
fun for no one, though.
But it's fun for it's fun for 2 people. See, all it has to do, it's essentially what inside jokes are, right? Everyone has inside jokes, and there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, you just have to know when the company to tell them in, right? It's all about context and like who's going to get it. So you have to understand the reference. So it's not funny to share an inside joke with someone who doesn't know it, because you'll have to explain the whole thing, and then it kind of loses its whole mystique.
Explaining the meaning of the joke destroys
will
the joke.
Really destroy it, right? Yeah. But if you have 2 people who went to a thing and go, "Remember that one time?" That's an inside joke right there. Like, that's that thing, right? It's just self-referential, an inside meme, and it is great between those 2 people, right? Even if it's only 2, it's great. You just have to know the party in which to share it.
I think your explanation is perfect, but I think you've found for me the reason why I don't get it.
Because you don't have any friends to share
no.
inside jokes with?
No, it's because what you just said is, where you go and you experience something with someone else, and then you have that communal reference with that person.
Yeah.
Meme culture, you're not going anywhere or experiencing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're just all getting in on an inside joke.
No, you know what you're all doing? You're all sitting there and consuming the same content from your computer screen.
So it's not a
phone or tablet.
In a way, it's a shared experience, but it's not a shared experience.
Well, it's not as personal.
Right, that's what I mean.
But that's the thing, it can feel that way.
So it's a false personal
experience.
Wow.
Because for instance, when you sit there...
Meme culture is dangerous, people.
It is. That's how you create things like stalkers and stuff, because... and so many personalities would be like, people come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like all this kind of stuff, you changed my life," or whatever, and they're like, "I don't even know who you are. Like,
right.
I didn't even know you existed till this moment right now."
I still don't know who you are. You're just standing in front of me.
I mean, but I know you exist now, at least, and I know that I played some role in your life, which is cool. But they're like, and then you can take it a little too far, and there's some people who take it exactly the right amount. They just like want to shake the person's hand and be like, "Hey, just really wanted to meet you because I think you're awesome," and it's just like that kind of a thing. And any kind of personality like will appreciate that, because that's the whole reason usually why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So to have a fan like that, I think is pretty cool. But there's always the people who take it a little too far. They don't understand, or that thing becomes their replacement for their social, life, and that can become dangerous. And so really, it's more about understanding almost just reality and being like, okay, as long as I remain in reality, I'm all right. Like I can do that. I can say that about several different YouTubers who I've watched a lot for years.
Right.
I get their little quirks and jokes and things, things that I'd take me a long time to explain to you, probably hours, to get you to the point of understanding the way I do, and you go, okay. Or I'd have to show you multiple videos for you to, like,
and
become...
even the thing with videos and the thing with, especially, like, what you're talking about, what you consumed and the way you consumed it is not the same way I'm going to consume it.
Sure. Yeah, and you're not going to think the same thing's funny or even worth value I would, you know?
I give the same assignment to 30 students. I get 30 different responses to that assignment.
And I think...
And it's the same thing
that's
for all
good.
of them.
Oh, I think that's a good thing.
I think it's part of humanity. But
right.
But I'm saying if the goal is to share an experience, I don't know. It just feels weird. I thought memes were just for, like, making people laugh. Like,
that's what I originally thought too. And I think a lot of younger people have a better understanding of them than older people.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
But ironically could not explain them as well.
Yeah.
And so they'll get that it doesn't necessarily have to be funny. It's just like a thought or a feeling even. And so they'll get, like, what that is.
Yeah. So memes, as I've come to know them, are trigger responses. They trigger a response.
Well,
they don't have to be funny. They just have to hit a thing that triggers your thought into whatever.
Yeah, it's very much a shared experience thing. There's so many memes that go around that are very like, remember this one thing that happened in your childhood?
Right.
Or it's like, you know,
the
does
only
anybody
90s
else remember,
kids, like, all that
the
shit.
only 90s kids, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's,
And some of those
remember when, you know, and it's one of those things. The best, I mean, the other ones, the interesting ones are one of those things where, it's one of those things where you as a person were like, oh, I thought I was the only one who did this or, like, experienced this, and then now it's like you realize it's everybody of that age, and that's why those things explode and blow up.
Right. Yeah. And you go, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I've seen those 90 kids ones. And
how many? It's like, remember when you were a kid? One of the ones I think of. Remember when you were a kid and you would, like, close the fridge to the point where you would try and get it to see if the light turned off, right? Yeah. Before you open it, and you're like, it's one of those things where you're like, I never thought about other people doing the same thing.
Right. You just thought, I did this.
I thought I did this.
Or I remember...
But I never thought it was important until I was like, oh, a lot of people did the same thing.
Yeah. Right. I was going to say, one of the things that applied to me, I remember when the first time I saw it, and this is even just only, like, I want to say about 5 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago, the first time I saw it. They're like, remember when you were a kid and you're walking in the sidewalk, and you're like, if I don't make it to that stop sign by the time this car passes, I'll die. You know, and so you play these games in your head. Yeah, Gabby's nodding. So yeah, like you just play. I used to play those games in my head all the time. I used to do that all the time and be like, oh, I gotta get here, and if I don't make it just to that step, then I'm dead. But if I make it there, then I'm safe. You know, and like just these internal monologue like games that you're playing to I don't know, stave off boredom. I don't know if there's some attention deficits.
No, actually, I think it's a part of creativity.
I don't know.
I think it's a part of our natural state of creativity, and a big reason why we lose that and then are reminded of it is that we've all gone through education, and education says none of that stuff is creative.
Right.
Here's a definition for what creative is, and it's in a box, and only stuff in the box is creative.
Or it's you know what? I think that's that's super apt, Tim. I think that is totally accurate because that's why they only teach you things are creative, like music, painting, drawing, poetry. Like each one of those is very categorized.
It's given a 4-letter word.
Right.
Arts.
No. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, if you can't, because I couldn't, there's no way to express, well, other than through memes, there's no way to express that thing that I did to someone else and be like, oh yeah, that's relatable. And like, why would I even think to share that with someone? I just be like, yeah, when I was a kid, maybe I would share that with, like, you know, my girlfriend or like, you know, eventually my wife or whatever. You know, someone who you're really close with, who you just, you know, you eventually share all of your life stories to the point where you're like, okay, I've heard everything this person has to offer. But other than that, or like a really close best friend that you're like always with.
Right. Who experiences all those things with you.
Right. And you might even, you know, play off each other, and then you might share that, which is your inside experience. you share that with someone else, and the other person's the alien, and they go, "What? I don't get that at all." Right. And so then immediately it's alienation, and that's actually was one thing there's a YouTuber I really like. His name's iDubbbz, and he was talking about how, I think it was last year sometime. It was a while back, but he basically said he didn't like sharing his music genres that he likes anymore, and he didn't like answering people when they said, "What kind of music do you like?" Because it's always met with, "What? Like, you like this?" And it's like, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's just like,
it's
critical. Yeah, if you don't like what I like, then you're wrong. And it's like, it's totally opinion based. Like, there's no wrong. Like, I just don't like that. You know what I mean? Or, and then it's like, well, why did you even ask me?
Right.
Just to berate me? Like, you didn't ask me just to be interested and be like, oh, I'm just curious what type of music you like, right?
Right.
Well, it's to make you feel bad about yourself for some reason. And you're like, he's like, I don't want that. Like,
right. From another point of view on that, I don't even think it's necessarily intentionally. Sometimes, obviously, it's intentionally to make you feel bad. Yeah. But I think a lot of times people don't do it intentionally to make you feel bad. What happens is people say it or ask with the intention of wanting to relate, right?
Sure.
And if it doesn't relate and doesn't match, right, now you go, oh, well, I thought we were like similar, and I had this expectation of you, right, in like relation,
right? I created an image of you,
or whatever. Where like now that's let down or different than what I thought, and so I'm now gonna have a different
they don't know what
view.
to do with the disparity, right?
Right.
So instead of you making another immediate connection and them getting that immediate high too and going, yes, we're very similar, like we're really close, right? Because that's what every human...
We might as well be the same person.
Well, yeah, because honestly, that's what every human wants, because it's how else...
What they think they want.
Yes, it's initially, right? Because it's also the easiest thing, too.
Absolutely.
How do you make your first friends? It was people you had things in common with, right? Like, and it's either that or it's people you were forced to be in a group with that you had no control over, and then you developed a friendship because that's how friends work, right?
Yeah.
You're either just together in the same place... Or you legitimately get to talk to people and you go, oh, you like that too? And then you become buddies, right?
Right.
And so it's the easiest way to do that. And so I agree. I don't think most of the time it's like specifically malicious. But people do that. And then they also do it as almost like we've learned as a culture to... when someone doesn't have the same exact thing as you do, they want to say to you like, oh, you're wrong, or what? Why would you watch? Or for instance, like I've heard a lot of people say this too. It's like if you're watching a TV show, and like you guys could be like, oh, you like, have you watched WandaVision, right?
Right.
And I'll be like, no, I haven't watched that yet. And people will be like,
how dare
what?
you?
Yeah, why have you watched? And I'm like,
it's not that I don't like it.
I'm like,
you do that to me all the time, though.
I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm saying as a culture,
at least she's recognizing.
I'm saying as a culture thing. Also, to be fair, I do it more as a meme to you guys anyway, but that's another thing. But when you're really close with people, you can do, all these sarcastic jokes or whatever. Hopefully, because hopefully they understand it. But clearly, Gabby just pointed out that they don't, so now I'm in the wrong. So whatever. But the point is that I think people do it in another way. Sometimes I do it as a jumping off point to be a little bit, like another way to connect. Like as the joke is like, yeah, it's whatever. Like we don't have to like the same thing.
Right.
Without saying, I get it, we don't have to like the same thing, because that would be a weird thing to say.
Right.
I agree that I think it's a kind of a cultural thing and like a social thing to just do. Because I mean, I know I've definitely caught myself unintentionally like being unintentionally, guys, rude to a person just because,
or just giving them a hard time is what I call it.
I guess, but like.
I'm not trying to be rude.
You're not trying to, but it can be rude. Like, regardless of whether you're trying to be or not.
Yeah.
People can take it, because then I try to put myself in the other shoes, right? If I am like, somebody asks me, what's my music taste? And I'm like, well, I like to listen to a lot of metal music. And they're like, oh, what? Just a bunch of screaming? Like, that's, that sounds horrible.
Right.
Right? Even if they're not intentionally trying to put me down, now I feel bad.
Right.
Because and then what happens is now I am on the defensive, right? Now I have to be defensive. I was like, well, then I go, my
have to defend
response,
the thing you like.
my response to
Yeah.
that is,
Right.
well, it's not all screaming, and it's like
Right.
I listen to metalcore, and it's like, you know, there's
Right.
singing along with screaming, and I think it sounds good, and it's like whatever,
Right.
right? But then that whole defensive conversation, none of that needed to happen.
Sure.
Right.
If the person just goes, oh, that's cool, I don't really listen to it, but that's interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and
But-
you're not going to convince them anyway.
Right. But for some
So-
reason, I feel like now I
Well,
have to
have
convince
to,
them that
yeah.
I'm valid in my thing that I like.
Right.
Right.
Which no one should have
Maintain
to
your
feel.
own validity of your own subjective opinion.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is basically like proving you're real.
But I
Yeah,
think
no, that's what
Which
it
is
is.
I
insane.
think that comes down to and Zach, you just painted a perfect picture. I think that comes down to how we're developing our identities in our culture.
yeah.
Because if we identify ourselves by what music we listen to, and that gets
Right.
invalidated, that's not just our music taste. That's us. That's my
a person.
identity being
Right, right.
invalidated.
Yeah.
And that's where that defensiveness comes from, because we're like, no, I'm a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can't take the fact that I'm a person away from me.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, I see that as the same thing too. And ironically, you know, something that was supposed to connect you is now pushed you further apart than you were before the question was asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes people use it as a way to build themselves up and push you down, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Which is another way that people feel good about themselves, unfortunately.
Or I mean,
is-
and they could do that. They could do that even unintentionally, like, but it still
Right.
happens.
And no, I think a lot of times, I don't know if I could say, I think it's maybe 50-50 with every person, but you know, we will put people down immediately, even without thinking about it,
Right.
even just doing stuff like that. And it could be in a very slight way. And you're like, yeah, when you really look back at it, you're like, that could have some repercussions, you know, like,
Yeah.
and that's why they always say, like, first impressions are so crucial, because it's like,
Right.
there's a joke in The Office where Dwight, he's like, first impressions are everything. This is like in like the last season of the show, and I think he's trying to hire someone or do something for the office, and basically he goes, first impressions are everything. He goes, for example, he's like, Pam, he goes, when I first came into the office, she said something that slighted me, and he goes, but since then, he goes, she's become very warm, and he goes, I've come to lean on her as a close friend, and she's a great colleague, and she's very interesting and has a lot to offer. And he goes, but because of that first impression, I hate her guts. And it's like, it's this idea of like, yeah, it's very hard to get over this thing. Now, obviously, he shows the extreme of that, which is like, okay,
That's why it's
why
funny.
which is why it's funny.
Yeah.
But it is proof of that idea where it's like most people don't get over that, and they just never want to be that person's friend. They never
Right.
want to give them the benefit of the doubt, even if they did something totally by accident,
Right.
right?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Right, because their feelings were hurt, and
Right.
now I'm going to build a grudge, which is a wall, and you're never going to get through that.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, then again, yeah, there's an essence of, you know, pride in your opinion on something like you
Totally.
like, right? Whether that's, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, right?
True.
I don't think having some sort of pride in the things you like is necessarily a bad thing. If you could take it to an extreme, obviously.
Well, I see. Here's one thing I just want to point out, and actually, the fact that we're on this, I think it's a perfect venue. But so pride, the word pride, we use the word pride a lot to describe like, oh yeah, I'm proud of like my children or something to be proud in. But I think it's actually the wrong use of the word. You can correct me if I'm wrong, please. But the way I think of it is, we're actually looking for the word like self-esteem, or like there was another word. But it's along the of self-esteem, where it's like, I have self-esteem in this. I hold this to esteem. But because to actually have pride in something is a negative thing, right? It's to the point where if you're prideful in something, right? If you take the original,
I think pride has the same capabilities that anger has.
yeah, okay.
Like, anger can be a positive thing.
So pride in and of itself is not a bad thing, is what you're saying.
I'm saying pride in its intent determines whether it's good or bad.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If the intention of pride is to place yourself above others, then it is essentially self-serving,
Right.
and therefore would be immoral.
Right. That's evil pride, essentially. Right. Yeah. Okay.
But if you're proud, like if you're proud of your friend's accomplishment,
right.
That kind of pride is simply lifting them up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's selfless intent.
Right. You're like, I'm gonna boast all day about my buddy because he's awesome.
He did this amazing
right.
job.
And no one would look at that as like, why would you be proud of that? Or like,
It's
it's to serve another. If you serve another,
that's a good way to look at it.
I think it would be, in terms of ethics, I think it would be moral.
It's one of those things where I think we the English language is lacking
very much,
and there should be 2 different words for these 2 different things because they
maybe
both
even 5
or whatever.
Yeah, I've thought about this so many times.
They are one word,
right.
but they carry different emotions depending on how you use it.
Right.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like you look at Greek term for love, right? There's so many. There's
4 different versions.
At least 4 different versions of love that you use in different scenarios for different meanings. Right.
And they mean
and we
very,
just have one word.
Love.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, but everyone knows, right? We all know, even if we've never been educated,
we understand
in the eros, agape, philia, charity, love.
It's weird that we have a city called Philadelphia, and I wonder how many people who live in Philadelphia understand the origin of their city name.
Well, they know the motto of the city is like the city of brotherly love, but I don't think they know the word Philadelphia like actually literally means Philadelphia, like it is brotherly love, right? That is, I probably very few of the whole population. I guarantee it.
It's just funny.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, but anyway, it's funny how people.
And we just completely killed Philadelphia. In case anyone in Philadelphia is listening. If you
are from Philadelphia,
you all are ignorant.
Okay, I'm saying I was going to open it up to another thing. See, Tim just demonstrated what we just talked about. See, he just put you all down.
That's right.
I am opening back up the bridge, and I'm saying if you are from Philadelphia, on whatever platform this ends up on, because I really don't know. So whatever method
your
that is.
Your cheesesteaks are good, but that's it.
Okay. Tim continuing to dig a hole. But if you have a way to comment or reach out to us, please let us know if you knew what those meant. And also please let us know if you didn't know what that word meant, because that would also be fun to know.
And if you still don't know what it means, rewind and listen again.
Yeah, because
we will have a Twitter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
actually,
that's one of the easiest ways to.
But the thing is, I don't know if I want to have a Twitter.
You don't need a Twitter. Zach can do.
I mean, you could have.
No, I mean, I don't know if I want this to have a Twitter.
Why not?
An Instagram would be fine.
You could do an Instagram,
I just feel like Twitter because Zach should be aware of this.
Are we anti-Twitter as well as anti-Philadelphia?
Well, I'll tell you as well. I love how you keep grouping. Tim, you're alone on that Philadelphia one, bud.
I'm just saying we don't like the Eagles, we don't like the Flyers, and we don't like the tweeters.
I'm relatively anti-Twitter, and I'll tell you why. Because
it's not a bad reason.
Twitter, for some reason, has become this place to, I don't know. It's like a judge. What am I looking for? It's become like a social courtroom where if anyone's ever done anything bad, that's where they use it to cancel people. That's where they use it to pull up bad blood, like old crap. That's how they pulled up the stuff on James Gunn.
Yeah.
Like, it's become a horrible, toxic, and I don't even like to use the word toxic, but that's what it is. It's just
I like to use it
place.
in accordance with Britney Spears' song.
Ooh, now that's a catchy song. I actually like that. And I think she's talking about Twitter in that song. Actually,
She might be.
Yeah.
Foretelling.
Yeah.
Foretelling the coming of Twitter.
Dude. Britney's a fortune teller, dude.
I'd
believe that.
I mean, I would, except for Kevin Federline, but
no, she saw it. She took the risk anyway.
She took the risk anyway.
That's what you do for true love, right there. No, but I just is
that too old to reference? People, let us know.
Please. Actually, please let us know. I feel like she's semi-relevant still. Like
her songs are still awesome.
Yeah. Timeless. But no, but Zach should know this. That KSI just left it, and that was his reason. Yeah. He was like, it's become like a horrible platform. He goes, I just don't want to be any part of it, and he left it. He's like a huge YouTube personality, and
I don't blame him.
I think Twitter for individuals is
what's
not
the point?
Good. Right?
Yeah, I agree. It's like what's the point?
Right?
Why? Yeah.
I think Twitter for brands is okay.
right? Because it's just a
because it's literally just something to follow to be like, oh, new episodes live, new episodes live, new episodes live.
Right, and it's an easy thing.
And
to get
occasionally you can be
an
like, well, now we have merch. Now whatever.
Right.
But I don't think
merch coming soon.
Yeah. If you're not
actually, probably not, but maybe
when we figure out
definitely
what
definitely
merch
not
means for us.
Definitely not when you hear this. Probably not, at least for probably a year after.
I can guarantee you, at some point, if this goes forward, there will be a Gabby pillow as merch.
That's true.
Yeah, and it'll actually be a body pillow.
No.
Yeah. And it will feature.
Zach immediately no.
It will
actually be. It'll be called the Gabby body pillow, but it'll be of Zach's body.
Oh no!
And we'll just really confuse people. They'll just be like, "What is happening?"
No, I was gonna say it will include an authentic Gabby signature.
That would we could do that.
Yeah,
Gabby, would that be okay?
You're gonna have to sign a lot.
We get your permission.
No. You just sign it once and embroider the pillow with her signature.
But I'm saying, would it be okay if we put your signature on something?
I guess
it'd be your signature thing. So literally, you'd have to sign off on it.
Yeah.
So if you didn't sign off, then we wouldn't do it.
I don't want a body pillow of me.
No,
you're not purchasing it.
We're talking like a square pillow that's just named the Gabby pillow.
It could be a little bit bigger. It's gotta be comfy, So maybe
it would be a comfy
maybe
pillow
a big rectangle
that you could
or something.
curl up in a ball like she is right now, and you can just
She's like a cat,
sort of not sleep but
or a
sleep
lynx,
at the same time.
maybe.
It's a very
the whole
quasi-state.
it would just be like a pillow that you can hug.
It's just a comfy pillow, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
It would probably just say Gabby pillow,
and we'll get it from somewhere other.
I'm
than
sorry,
my
I took it in the wrong direction when I said I was joking. I was joking. See right there. See, I made a disparity, and it wasn't intended. See,
well, I don't want a Zach's body pillow either.
Who doesn't?
No, I just said I don't.
Who doesn't?
Okay. Well, Zach, that would be Zach, Gabby, and I don't.
Oh well, more Zach body pillows for me.
I assume Zach doesn't want a body pillow of himself.
Zach's into that.
I mean,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the worst thing,
dude. That reminds me.
Okay.
Tim, you'll probably get this reference. That reminds me of an old episode of Robot Chicken.
Okay.
And I don't remember who they were portraying, but it was some celebrity. And then all of a sudden, he was making out with a clone of himself. And he turns back to the camera and he goes, "It's not gay. It's masturbation."
So that was Seth Green.
Oh, it was Seth Green. That's right.
Seth Green.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember it was something like self-deprecating.
Yeah.
It was so, dude, I laughed so hard when I saw it because I was like,
I know.
You blew my mind, Seth Green. Blew my mind.
It's a brilliant piece of comedic writing.
It's hilarious. I was just like, that is so good. I loved it. Yeah. By the way, Zach,
we're not going to clone Zach.
Are we picking up the train right now?
Because that'd be cool.
I mean, we probably are now. It's just
it would be picked up through Tim's mic.
That's why I'm saying I don't know if we are.
Yes.
No, we are picking it up.
So that's a train.
Nice.
But I dig the train, honestly.
I'm cool with it. It's not crazy loud or distracting.
It just means
but
that somebody, if they're really fun, if they're really fancy, they can find all the train schedules.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
If you triangulate our location based upon a train
the good
sound,
thing is they won't know when.
Can you come work for us?
Yeah.
I was gonna say they won't know when we recorded this, so
that's true.
That's the one thing that they.
So
can't.
if you solve this impossible puzzle, please come work for us.
Yeah,
for free.
It's not technically impossible, but man, good luck.
Yeah, just based on audio.
Why?
Yeah, it's. Why good luck?
Do that? Why would you do that?
Why would I tell them good luck?
No, why would you triangulate the position of?
Oh well,
I mean, if
that was the whole
somebody's
he will not divide us
I want him on my side
thing, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, but that's a little bit different.
True. I mean, that was for a very specific
to make a statement.
Yeah, we're making no statement.
Right.
We just want.
Except that Philadelphia sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Zach's joined the train. Okay.
Thank you, Zach.
Okay. Gabby and I are still pro Philadelphia.
I mean, Gabby hasn't weighed in yet.
I've never been there. I don't know what it's like.
So I mean, what I mean is we're both indifferent about it. We're not hating it.
Ben Franklin, and so
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they got the bell, the cracked bell.
Yeah.
It's like, why not patch it up, fix it? It's been a couple hundred years.
Right.
Seriously, put it back to use.
But you have a broken artifact. Like who?
And isn't it made of like bronze or something crazy like that?
I think so.
Like super valuable, right?
Well, yeah, but it's probably
Well, I
been
guess it's more
oxidized
valuable
that
as
it's-
an artifact than it is.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's like the Liberty statue.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, why did I say it backwards? I don't.
It's the Liberty
Yeah,
statue.
the Liberty statue. You're like, you idiot. Everyone says Statue of Liberty. Anyway, it is the physical embodiment of liberty, that statue. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's made out of actual copper,
Right.
but it has oxidized.
Yeah. That's why it's green.
But you just have to buff it off. Like
Right.
it can't be that
like,
hard.
like the French do.
No, in fact, they used to, right? Because they have a duplicate, right? A smaller
Well,
version,
they were built at the same time
right?
to signify unity.
That's right.
Even though they're the French, and we toss them under the bus every chance we get, but that's not.
We're still technically allies.
Oh, we've never been actual enemies, I don't think, except for the French and Indian
War
War.
of
But at that point,
1812.
that was British, man.
I thought that's the same war. I thought we just call it two different things. Am I wrong?
No, the War of 1812 happened it started in 1812. It ended in 1814.
Or is that the 100 Years' War?
The 100 Years' War is another war.
But there's one war, and I thought we call it the French and Indian.
7 Years' War.
That's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I was driving me crazy. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know that in England they call it something different, or basically in Europe they call it something
Yeah,
different.
it's the 7 Years' War.
And here we call it the French
And
and Indian War. But over there they call it like
The
the
7
whatever
Years'
years.
War,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Because it lasted for 7 years.
But if you name every war just after how long it lasted, you'd get confused very quickly because like there's got to be ones
the
that
7
last.
Years' War was basically World War Zero
Yeah, kind of, huh?
because it involved everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot of people
Yeah,
because everyone wanted new land.
yeah. The only difference between the 7 Years' War and any of the world wars is modern times and industrialization. Like when war became industrialized, then we had world wars.
That's when we had the world wars.
Well, because transportation got better, weapons got better, like everything that helped you kill each other got better.
Efficiency.
Blood.
That is
Efficiency and blood, yes.
efficiency and blood. That's what we run off of.
Efficiency and blood. Watch for the spinoff of this podcast.
That's the new name of this podcast.
Efficiency and blood.
Efficiency and blood.
Okay.
You know, it
We'll
wouldn't
just
be
be that
it wouldn't be
podcast.
wrong.
We'll just be that podcast that we're like, the name is Freeform until we find an official title, and
Yeah.
then we'll just stick with that. But every episode we'll be like,
We'll be trying to
what
think
if we
of new
come?
names.
What if we name it this? You
Oh
know?
gosh, is that going to become our new
How about-
thing?
No, please no.
Fluff,
It might no, actually, that wouldn't be a
fluffy
bad thing.
kittens of fire. I don't know.
Okay, that's trying way too hard.
It is
Yeah,
trying.
what is
We're-
happening?
Efficiency
really
and blood sounds way. That one's like okay.
It just sounds like a heavy
Efficiency
metal
and-
version of a Jane Austen.
hell yeah, dude.
Efficiency and blood. That's just
That's my life.
a war. It's just a war history podcast.
It's true.
yeah.
True. Very
That's a
true.
much more specific podcast. That's literally what that is. So we wouldn't really want to name ourselves that because it'd just be like, you know.
I mean, I could like go into some of that, but that's only because I did a lot of research on past wars.
Interesting.
Weird
Well,
flex.
It is a weird flex.
I know a lot about
It's
death.
definitely a weird flex. The fact that previously I just said the War of 1812 started in 1812 and ended in 1814 was also a weird flex.
Yeah.
The fact that you're recalling it
Is an even bigger weird
Yeah.
flex. So that's three weird flexes in a row, people. I hope
Yeah.
you're keeping track.
Yeah, please.
We should
need
make
to
a
stop.
bingo sheet for you.
Dude, we should just call our podcast Weird Flex.
That's not a bad name.
That's actually not that bad.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's
that's
not bad.
pretty
That's pretty.
that's
Weird
pretty
flex.
good. I'm
Weird
just saying.
flex.
All I'm
That's
saying is that we should keep Weird Flex on the table.
I like it, honestly.
Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And we could like do a whole corner on Gabby's tattoo searches, because tattoos are, in their own way, a weird flex.
Well, normally they're actually
Not all of them.
They're
but I just
actually
think some
they're
of them
just
are.
a great flex if you have good muscles.
No, but I mean like people who have weird tattoos.
Yeah.
you're like, oh, why would you
Gabby,
do that?
what's the weirdest tattoo you've ever seen? In person.
In person?
In person.
In
Yeah.
person.
Because if we say on a
Yeah.
screen, it's too
You've
wide.
been scrolling through them for the past.
Well,
like,
no, but I mean, like,
Yes.
I've seen a lot of weird tattoos
Yeah.
online too.
Right.
It just opens the door too far. And if it's someone you've personally seen, that just adds a bit of authenticity to it. I like that.
I've seen a cracked out Pikachu.
Hey, are you Gabby?
Fun.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
All right.
Gabby hasn't talked at all this whole time. I want her to
Well,
be
she's
the one
been
to...
sleeping.
She's not
I
sleeping.
didn't fall
She was
asleep.
paying attention.
I was listening.
She was being
Say
attentive.
that a little softer.
Also, I think like 90% of my brain was just looping for some reason the edit of the Sherlock Holmes Discombobulate, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Did it end with you getting hit in the sides of the head?
Yeah, sure.
So you were being discombobulated.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's treacherous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I'll give you some time to think. There's no like...
Probably. Well, one that just came to mind. I'm sure I'll think of more.
Okay.
One that just came to mind.
Yeah.
Was how did I even? I never like obviously like knew this person or whatever. I remember. I think it was.
Yeah, we don't claim relationship with any of the people we're about to talk about.
No, it was in.
Probably better if we're not claiming relationship, you know?
No, it was in. It was in a game one time. So we were post game, and it was like. What was
Rugby?
It? Yeah.
Okay.
Or match, I guess. Was it rugby or was it a different sport? No, it was rugby. It was
Quidditch?
So post match.
We
I
played
had
match
to
at Quidditch.
remember
She's a thumper.
which one it was for a second.
Bumper? I don't remember the terms.
What?
Are you trying to remember the Harry Potter terms?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what they're called either. He's saying a thumper?
I don't know.
Is that the guy? Bludgeoner.
Bludgeoner?
Bludgeoner? Bludger? I think it's something like that. Anyway, sorry.
She
we're
hits you
derailing
and
this
hurts
train.
you. Yeah.
Sorry,
It
what were
was
you saying?
post match. Yeah, it was. Now I'm thinking about it more. It was post match, and it was like this, like lower thigh piece, like near the knee, kind of to the side, and like right above it. And shoot, what was it? It was like I think it was from. Oh shit! Is it Spirited Away or like one of those? Like it was like some like which normally I'd be like, oh, that's hella cool.
Right.
But it was like very like I know obviously like Spirited Away is done in
poorly
an
done.
animation style and everything, but it looks like
Right.
cartoony, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cartoon
gotcha.
versus anime is a difference.
Well,
yeah.
but it was
True.
just very weird, and it was one of the the one where he turns into a dragon.
Oh, that's Spirited Away.
That's Spirited Away.
Is it
the
Spirited
white
Away?
dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was him,
The
but
river
again,
spirit.
thank you. And it was just very
Haku.
poorly Haku, thank you. And it was just very poorly drawn and just or not even like bad. It was just like it looked like a cartoon, but like I knew that's what it was from because it was like distinct enough.
Right.
And then in weird cursive, but also like weird letters underneath it, just said "My love," and I was like,
Oh gosh.
That's awkward.
Oh gosh.
"Yeah." So
Well, there.
I don't know who she was. Obviously,
Yeah.
I didn't. She was on the other team. Like
You-
I don't know her at all.
So it was when my senior year of high school,
Yeah.
and a kid, I won't say his name, came in. He was also a senior,
Wow.
and he had gotten the Windows logo tattooed on his calf.
Nice.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
You know what? That is so far back because you're ancient.
Yeah.
That actually would have been semi cool and unique.
It wasn't cool,
But it would have
was
been
dumb.
It definitely would have been unique at the time.
Yeah, it looked dumb.
But because it was just
Also-
the classic four colors,
Yeah.
like the
Also, the fact that
orange,
he's
yellow.
backing the brand, you know, till today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
See, his one claim to fame is somebody goes, "Why'd you have the Windows logo tattooed on your leg?" And they're like, he's like, "I got that before y'all knew what Windows was."
Yeah.
yeah. No, unfortunately,
then
we
just-
knew what Windows was.
No,
at
they
that
just looks
point.
at him. And
I
goes,
am Bill
and he just
Gates.
goes, "I'm Bill Gates." Exactly. That's what I'd say.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
no.
"I'm Bill Gates," and they'd be like, "No way."
I'm not that ancient. It wasn't pre-Windows, everyone. It was Windows had already released.
Well, I was
going
gonna
to
say,
Millennium or whatever that.
if it
crap-
was,
I'm
if
assuming
it was
probably
pre-Windows,
XP. The logo, the XP.
No,
No,
well, what was
or
that?
98.
Yeah.
98, I think.
or 95.
Okay, I graduated in 2000, people. Okay.
I'm just saying that he could have got it when it was in Windows 95.
I mean,
He
it
would have
could,
been really
Or
young.
that could have been the version he was repping. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know.
One other one.
Just
I
a
guess
weird
it's a
thing to put
sequence
on
of
your
two. I guess it's technically a
Yeah.
sequence of two that I've seen. Is it's like, you know how people get them on the side of their fingers?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it
like
was
on the edge. You got,
So it was on the
yeah.
side of both the middle fingers, in between the middle and the rings, and on one
And
of
on
them,
both of them.
on one of them, it said "bite me," and on the other one, it said "yes, sir." I was like,
Okay.
It's her form of communication, right? So if somebody's messing with her, she goes like this, and it says "bite me,"
Right.
Flips them off.
Actually,
and then you know
it's
this
like-
side is just a sign of respect.
Yeah.
I could see it if
Yes,
you're like
sir.
saluting with two fingers, because
There you
you'd
go.
you'd
Yes,
show it
sir.
to them. Like depending on which hand you use.
That's true. Oh, were
Maybe
they a
that's what it was.
military person?
no.
Doubtful.
I'm just
I
saying,
think
'cause
the
if you
yes,
do-
sir was for something else.
Oh, you know what? That was my
Yeah.
first
I
inclination.
figured it was
Yeah.
probably
Ba-
that,
like,
but
and
I
again-
wanted-
Someone who's gonna get those type of tattoos.
And again, barely knew this person. I've
Yeah.
even seen them in years. You know, again, I
Yeah.
was just like aware of them through a
Yeah.
class we had in common.
Yeah.
Not even, you know, obviously like undergrad too. So
Yeah.
like there's a million people everywhere. So it wasn't
Right.
even, you know, I barely knew this girl, and I just saw them, and she showed them to me. She was like, "Oh my god, look!" And I was like, "Oh, you know."
Oh, she was like excited to show you them.
Well, at first I was like, "Oh, do you have like finger tats?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, it's super cool. Can I see?" And then she showed me, and she was like, "Yeah, look at them." And I was like, "Oh."
And you just said no comment.
I was just like, "Wow, they look really clean." Because the line work was really tight. I will
That's
say
how
that.
you know.
I will say
That's a great.
it was very they were well done, like
Right.
especially for finger tats where they rub and fade like all
Sure.
the time. It was very
Right.
clean. Maybe it was recent, I don't know, but like yeah.
I'm assuming it was, but I was gonna say because no one guarantees. Like, my cousin was just literally talking to me about this last night. She's like, no one guarantees hand tattoos
No.
because they just will rub off.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah, you
just,
wash your hands all the
touch your
time, the
hands.
sweat.
Yeah, they're touching everything. You're condensing.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially if you
condensating. Yeah.
whether you just like work out or work with your hands or whatever it is, like you're just gonna be constantly like
Right.
rubbing the skin. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And
Yeah.
so they're gonna be gone within what, a year, maybe a couple, I don't know, or at least faded quickly.
Yeah.
If you wanted to keep them, you'd have to go get them touched up probably every couple of years.
Probably like every 2-ish years.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Well, especially when people get like stick and pokes and stuff. I'm like, "Ugh."
What's a stick and poke? Is that the traditional way?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
With the I would say with the needle, it's done, but with the
stick,
solo needle,
Right,
the-
and they tap it, and
Yep.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I could see
That
the
makes
only
me
way I could see
wonder at
that.
people who have like the full, like their hand, the whole back of the hand and the whole sleeve
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Like,
a lot of
how
people
much of that
just
has
get that.
be redone.
be redone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the only way I could see the stick method.
Stick and poke.
Yeah, the only way I could see doing that method
sounds
is
like
if
a good book title.
number one, you're just super into tattoos and like that lifestyle, and like so you're like,
Right.
I want to get the new
Well,
different
and then when
thing
they
or
are done,
whatever.
it's like the quote unquote like the traditional way, and in
Right.
some cultures especially, that's like a big thing.
Well, and that's
So-
was
Right.
my second reason would
Yeah.
be like if I came from a
Cultural
culture
thing.
like for instance like the native the Pacific Islanders and stuff
Oh,
when
so
they
you
would
go
get
to-
their
yep.
tattoos and stuff.
Mhm.
That's how they did it, and so that would be kind of cool as like a cultural heritage thing, right? I like there's a lot of stuff in my heritage that I'd like to connect with, and like for instance my first tattoo I'm probably gonna get here relatively soon, probably at least by the summer. Will
Better
be
book fast, bud.
Yeah, if you want it by the summer.
oh really? I got a book in now.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah,
No,
they're-
I
they're,
don't
like,
know.
Booked out to May and June. You know.
Oh, I don't know how
My
it
one
works.
guy I go to get my shoulder piece done, he's booked till October.
Holy shnikes! Wow. Okay. Anyway, well, never mind. I may
Get it
get
done. I'm just to
that
say
I
it's
may
not gonna
get by
happen
the
that
end of the
fast.
year.
Dallas will be having a 7th grader do it for him.
If you want it that fast,
seventh
sure.
grader
Sure,
smoking
maybe
a
somebody
cigarette
will
and
do
going,
it.
You're hanging out of the
Somebody
mouth
will
and
do
be
it.
Did
like,
you watch
Good.
King of
So you
Staten
want this
Island?
done?
Yeah.
You watch King of Staten Island? He's just
No,
gonna find
the seventh grader didn't do
No,
it.
but he's still gonna find Pete Davidson.
I'm
in the
gonna find,
corner.
dude. I'm
Pete
going to
Davidson.
Long Island, or not Long Island. I'm going to Staten Island. I'm gonna find Pete Davidson because he
All right.
does live there.
All right.
I'm gonna go to his mom's house because that's where he lives. I'm gonna go, hey, I want you.
Is your
to
son in your basement?
I'm gonna say, is your son in your basement? She's gonna be like, why? I'm gonna be like, I'm not mad. I just want him to give me a tattoo. And she'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Come on down.
Yeah. I feel like
And then we'll have a great friendship.
he wouldn't charge you.
And then he'll
but
come on this podcast.
no. I feel like
I'm claiming it. One day, Pete Davidson on this podcast.
Sure, bud.
Whether in person or online.
But I mean,
Don't give him an out.
Come
on, Zach. Don't give him an out.
on the podcast,
Yeah.
like he will know that he's having a
All right. But
that's my goal.
I feel like he
That's my
should
goal.
charge you
For what?
for the tattoo.
Oh well, yeah, that's fine.
But I
would pay
feel
for
like
that.
he won't.
because we'll be bros.
Yeah, well,
We'll be friends,
and you'll
man.
want one of his tattoos. I feel like he'll
Oh,
be like,
one that he has, or like just one that
No,
he would-
you'll want him to give you a tattoo, and I feel
like a
that's,
random one.
that's
No.
enough for him to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna give it to you for free." I feel like your desire to have one, him
He's
give
saying
you one.
he's calling out Pete Davidson and saying his tattooing sucks.
Right.
And so he's like,
Oh, you're calling.
That's
you're,
what he's
okay,
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that.
Yeah.
I was gonna
He's
say, are
saying-
you saying
no.
is like in the movie, like his character, like
No,
oh.
that's not how he tattoos. And
yeah,
he's
if he
actually
does at all.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he does any actual tattooing, but
Well, no, he's talked about. How
I'm
he wants
calling
to be
you
a
out,
tattoo
Pete
artist.
Davidson.
I don't know if he actually does.
Oh, I thought he talked about that.
He definitely said it in the movie, but
No,
like
no.
I don't. There's a fine line between who he was in that movie and
No,
who
no.
he is in real life. So
Yeah.
it's easy to blur some of the facts for.
I think he blurred it
Fiction.
on purpose because
No, it's so applicable. I
it's
think that's
brilliant.
One of the, yeah,
writing
I think
to
it's
do
one of the him and Judd Apatow, man, they worked together on it and it came
Yeah.
out great. I think it's one of the things that makes it great. But that being said, I don't now know.
His skill.
Yeah, like I don't know what his. Well, also I don't know.
I
his
say
personal,
he sucks.
All right. Tim calling out Pete Davidson. Pete, I'm saying you're awesome, and I'd like you on the podcast.
Who's the girl who's the woman who plays Harley Quinn?
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie.
Margot. So she does tattoos of smiley faces on people.
On people's what?
On people.
Oh, you said it like she
Well,
only
she did
does
it on
it.
she did it on a staff member of Graham Norton's production crew. She did it on the
Oh.
bottom of his big toe
Why?
That sounds
because he wanted it.
painful.
It's strange. I know.
Sounds like that was like a fetish of his.
Probably.
It's like Margot Robbie tattooed a
I mean, he
smiley
was
face on the
rather
bottom of
he
my
was
toe.
rather eager to like get his shoe off
Yeah,
and his foot. In her hand.
that's.
I don't know.
So she tattoos smiley faces on people.
Yeah. She
that like
she
a
like
Harley-
had a carry around case for carry around tattoo case. Yeah.
With no fresh needles. She just reuses.
I
the same
assume
one.
they were fresh needles.
She just reuses.
She's not Jared Leto.
You're right. She's worse.
No, that wasn't what I was
She's
saying.
more diabolical, man. No one would
I'll
suspect
give her more diabolical, but
Yeah.
she's not as gross.
That's why she's more diabolical.
Sure.
You're not as harmful if people see the harm coming. You know?
Yeah, it's true. It does lessen the danger if
Yeah.
you're immediately picked out as.
Yeah,
the
you'd be
dangerous
like,
one.
that's a bad guy. I don't want to be around
Right.
him. Yeah. If you're like, oh,
Although I feel like at least when she's in the Harley Quinn outfit, I feel
Yeah.
like she's dangerous. Just she screams danger.
I think she screams, I miss my dad.
That too.
Screams, bite me and
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bite me,
exactly.
yes, sir.
Bite
Yeah.
me and yes, sir on the same finger.
Who
You're
knew
like,
Gabby was playing rugby against Margot?
Wow, that's who that was?
That's crazy.
Wow,
Really?
that's crazy. I thought she... Could have gone so many avenues there, but I won't. Yeah, but I do want to get a tattoo, and I have it mostly, well, not mostly. I mean, I know the extent of what I want it, but I need to see it like done in a different way because I don't want it to be this like colorful thing.
No,
I don't like colored tattoos.
Oh, mine are
Yeah.
black and white.
you want to do it black and white.
Yeah, I like it like
Yeah.
that. I think they
If you-
stand out longer and they have
You
less
should go.
issues with
You
them.
should go classic green.
Like a sailor's tattoo. That
Well, I was
made me
gonna
look.
say,
It made me look like I was in prison. Like
you,
when I got
you
it.
said like if it was a cultural thing, but and I was thinking like our culture,
Yeah.
our white boy culture of
White boy. It's not.
of English.
There's no white boy culture. There's
I'm saying of English and Irish and Scottish and all that.
the Northern Islanders.
Right.
Yeah.
Those sailors, they had quite extensive tattoos as well.
Right, but would it specifically be that green? Like that?
Well,
That's
that
more
was
of like
the-
a early American thing.
Oh no, that goes.
It doesn't necessarily mean it was like done over there,
It
right?
goes way back, man.
Is that like the only ink that people had? Is that what you're trying to claim?
No, I'm just saying that it goes way back.
Where does the green come from?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, look that up. I'm curious about that.
Where's the
If
green?
you want to just color grade your design black and white, just send it to me, and I'll send it back to you.
Thank you. I need to like draw it out first.
Whenever you do that, because I can just throw it in Photoshop. and
I
just
wish I
print
had
it.
a printer.
I found this one of a penguin in front
I
of a
do.
cactus.
That's weird. Like it's done well. It looks good, but that is
again,
a really.
It's clean.
That's gonna be one of those ironic tattoos. Or they're gonna be like, "This is the world in 20 years."
On a,
It's penguins in the desert. Like, I'd be like, penguins are already in the desert, you idiot. What do you think Antarctica is? Boom!
Oh.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
You know what I value? Here I am in my garage with my Lamborghini, but none of that means anything without some knowledge. All my books are sitting on my shelves. I bought 3 new houses just to house all my books.
Knowledge.
I read 12 books a day,
Knowledge.
and if I don't, I'll kill myself.
Knowledge.
Sounds like a really weird mixtape.
Yeah, that's why I was saying knowledge every time.
Yeah, it's becoming more of like a chant. It's like, oh shit, like
A weird spoken
get
word.
yourself into like a
what?
state of just like
Knowledge.
work yourself
Oh.
into a frenzy.
Okay, so that makes sense. So the only color that was available for a long time was black.
Yeah,
But
Well, that makes a lot of
because
sense.
of sailors' exposure to the sun,
they were exposed.
the sun and a lot of wind and salt in the air, a lot of those things changed the pigments in that ink to green. So their tattoos started out black and went
They turned green. So that makes even more sense with it being like a
It's like a mood ring.
a mood ring that takes years to change.
Yeah, and by years we mean like the article said like decades.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well,
Unless you're at sea for a couple years, I feel like that would age your skin much quicker.
yeah, but it's very unlikely I'm
Like
gonna be
if
out
you've
to
ever
sea.
seen a merchant sailor,
Yeah,
their skin is leather.
yeah. But it makes him all that more attractive to ladies.
I mean, okay, sure,
happening.
I guess.
Thank you very much for listening. We do not have a name yet. We're still technically untitled. But whether this becomes Freeform or Weird Flex or perhaps some third variant, hope you'll tune in again. Thanks for listening. Have a good rest of whatever you have going.
Perfect.
This one's just a carton of milk.
And on that note,
This was just a carton of milk. But is there a missing child on that carton of milk?
No.